The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Give Roger a call at 1-877-84-ROGER. The Roger Hitchcock Show starts now.
Welcome back, 877-84-ROGER. And in Maricopa County, Arizona, the sheriff, America's sheriff, is Joe Arpaio, and the sheriff joins us on the news line. Sheriff, welcome back to the program.
Nice talking to you, Roger.
You had recently a press conference in which Mike Zullo, on behalf of a cold case posse, presented a report on the question of whether or not the birth certificate presented by Barack Obama is a legitimate birth certificate, and similarly the selective service card. I guess I know about the report just because I took the news that day, but I sure haven't read anything about it in the news. I wonder, just as a lawman who's been doing this for a lot of decades, if Barack Obama's name wasn't on that report and it was simply a report from your investigators, your detectives, about a forged birth certificate, would you, based on the evidence presented in that report, make an arrest?
Well, we have probable cause. We're trying to identify any alleged forgers. We haven't done that yet, but it's very suspicious when you look at all the facts. So we're still investigating these two documents and trying to find out who could be responsible. I'm not blaming the president, but if they're forged, someone has to be responsible for doing that.
And based on the information as you understand it, you think there's probable cause that a crime has been committed with respect to both documents?
Yeah, we do. And today I made a decision where to send the selected service card to which agency in order to have them help us or do a independent investigation. We have nothing to hide. We're bringing it to their attention and see what happens. My problem is there's a lot of conflicts out here to get somebody to look into this. The media, I want to thank you, Roger, at least you're talking about it. This is probably the biggest censorship blackout in the history of the United States. When I go to the toilet, I'm making a national news. At a press conference, and nobody picked it up. Why? It's because it has to do with the White House, the president.
Well, and I think that's the only reasonable explanation. As you know, this is can you imagine a situation in the George Bush years if a high-profile sheriff had a team of former law enforcement officials examine whether the president is truly a natural-born citizen and come up with probable cause that the documents presented by the president to prove his citizenship are forged? I mean, it would have been the front page news until the truth was finally wrung out of the system one way or the other. It would have made Watergate look like a sidebar.
Well, I think that I was not involved directly in Watergate, but I knew the players. But this one, I just can't believe the media, including the cable media, blocking this thing out.
Talk about Mike Zullo a little bit, Sheriff, because I don't know that we were familiar enough with him and the team that you put together. Because the other concern is, how high quality law enforcement are these people, and what do they really know?
Well, Mike is a former cop in New Jersey. I've got a couple other former cops. I've got a couple attorneys. So I have confidence in them, and I look at this. I'm not using any taxpayers' money. I purposely gave it to my volunteer posse so they can't accuse me of using taxpayers' money. However, if I wanted to start doing it now, I'm sure I would be fully justified, but they'll still go after me on this. But the point is, I told these guys, I want you to do a good job. I hope we clear the president. I said from day one when the Tea Party, 250, came to me and said, you're our last resort. Will you look into it? What am I supposed to do, throw it in a wastebasket? So I looked at it on the possibility I could clear the president. I said, give me the microfiche in Hawaii to show if he was born in that hospital. Give us a microfiche. I said that 6 months ago. And that would clear everything up. But as we went into it with an open mind, now we're coming to a conclusion that we may have some forged documents evolving around this situation. I'm not going after the president to keep him off a ballot or anything else, but that could happen. But I'm going at it, Roger, strictly as a law enforcement guy investigating a possible forgery and fraud. I'm sticking with that, but I'll tell you one thing. We got tons of other information that could be very shocking, too. But I'm sticking now just with the investigation on possible criminal violations.
Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Now, Sheriff, you've been, of course, the subject of a high-profile investigations that have been covered by the media, initiated by the national government against you. What's the status on that?
Well, it's been going. This is a civil rights and other alleged racial profiling. They had their big press conference on December 15, 22-page blasphemy, and of course all my opponents and the Democrat elected officials use that as their Bible to go after me to resign. I can go on and on. So we're still talking to them to see what negotiations will accomplish. But I'll tell you one thing, they want to control my organization, monitors, and everything else. I'm not going to go for that, so I guess they'll sue me, and we'll go to court and put the real facts out, the real facts that they're going to have to come up with, including all their so-called witnesses that they won't identify. They won't give us anything. So we'll see what happens. But let me say this. I started this investigation in August. They had their press conference in December. I'm not saying that they did the press conference because of my investigation. You know, so I didn't do this because they're going after me. It has no bearing on this. This came to my attention. I took action, and we came up with this evidence. So, you know, what am I going to do? Forget it? I'm not going to forget it.
So you're pursuing it, and I guess you've sent the Selective Service card, to the Selective Service Agency for their review of what you found out, or how did that work?
I didn't say where I send it, but you're a very intelligent, smart guy, Roger. I guess a common sense would be to send it to them, since it's, you know, the Selective Service Director is appointed by the President. Reports directly to the president. I don't know if you knew that. They only have 136 employees in the whole organization. I presume if I did that, what do you think they're going to do with it? The director, who was appointed from San Antonio, Texas, 8 months into the Obama administration, what do you think he's going to do? He's probably going to call some guy at the White House, if he can get up to the chief of staff, to ask some advice, and then what are they going to do, give it to the Attorney General? I don't know if I did do that, what they're going to do with it. So I'm fighting big battles here.
Yeah, no question. No question. In fact, the biggest battle is that not one person in 5,000 in this country even knows about the cold case posse or the report.
Yeah, I thought it would be, well, I'll tell you, we had a press conference. A lot of people came. They were snickering, trying to embarrass me. This is a pony show, trying to get publicity. And they still said that. However, when we showed the Selected Service card on the screen, you can hear a pin drop.
Wow. Well, Sheriff, we're going to keep up with you. Appreciate the effort. We're going to continue to tell people what's going on, and we'll stay in touch. And I appreciate your time today, sir. As always, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, Maricopa County, Arizona, one of my great American heroes.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.